5 things that RJ wants to see from the Cowboys Sunday against the Giants with a 17-point spread in Vegas.
Okay. Number 1, a pass to start the game. What a novel concept.
50% of the time, they go run, pass.
I would like to see a singular pass. Just a flea flicker.
A flea flicker.
Not even a pass, a flea flicker.
What are you talking about? Passing's their identity. Mike just told us earlier.
I want to see that. Number 2, do not mess around. The only way the Giants win this game is if you let them stay in it. And how do you let them stay in it? You slow the game down. You turn the ball over. Let's try to avoid those things. Number 3, attack their offensive line. Holy cow, that offensive line's bad. If Tommy DeVito gets more than 3 seconds to throw on any play, I'll be stunned. Fun fact about Tommy DeVito, his dad grew up apparently down the street from the Bada Bing in Sopranos.
Really?
Yeah, like in like that.
Here we are making fun of all the stereotypes, and then they give us the stereotype.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is that it's like kind of like, oh, is it like Danny? And then you find out more about him. It's like, oh, yeah, he is a New York guy who grew up down from the Sopranos, plays like DiNucci.
He was in that Bloomfield area, that Pizza Land, or the Pizza Land. All of Sopranos was basically filmed in Tommy DeVito's dad's backyard.
So when you're making your DiNucci comparison, are you saying this guy's got a big arm and is going to make wild card throws?
Yeah. No, like he like so it's not a big arm. DiNucci didn't have a big arm, but he has like a weird release that looks similar to DiNucci's, and he has no fear. He's got all-world confidence in his ability to throw, and so he'll try to throw it deep.
That's the type of guy I don't want to face. In a game like this, I don't want to face someone who's like, screw it.
No. You're misunderstanding me. This is not Jameis Winston with the ability and the confidence to interact with decisions. This is Jameis Winston confidence with Craig Krenzel arm. So
Craig Krenzel.
This is another more stereotypes. He went to Donnie Bosco Prep.
What's that?
It's just like
Donnie Bosco.
Donnie Bosco.
Is that a real prep?
Yeah, it's a football kind of.
I loved that
academy.
movie. That was a Brian De Palma film, right?
It was, yes. Let's see. Run routes the distance that you actually need. I still can't believe what I saw last week. I almost died.
John Madden rolling in his grave.
Yep.
He'd always get mad when you sat there and had it a yard short.
Yep, absolutely. Number 5, Cooper Rush. Everyone says Dak's the number 1 fantasy quarterback in the league this week. I completely disagree. He'll be out of there by halftime. Cooper Rush. I want to see. If you see Cooper Rush in this game, you know you did something right.
Trey Lance. The Tolas will want Trey
Lance. Trey Lance.
You hope to see Trey Lance trending on social media. All right, so the trick here, I want to see who has the closest score prediction on the truckmark.com text line. 877-881-1053. 877-881-1053. I'm going 37-6. Giants.
That was actually
37-6 Cowboys. I don't even really want to talk about.
So that's not a touchdown. That's 2 field goals. Or is they going to go for 2?
I don't know. I just picking scoregami type, whatever. 37-6, and I am not going to be that mad if the Cowboys try to run early. I wanted to ask McCarthy. He would have not wanted to give New York bulletin board material. Maybe Jerry will at 10:30 with KMC. What I really wanted to ask him is, in a game like this, how much are you like, all right, here's the other things we're going to work on. We're gonna try.
Yeah.
But that'd be really insulting.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that date that you're never going to go on a second one with, and you're like, let me try out this line, or let me pull a Peyton Russell type move here and see if I can put something else in my arsenal. That's what I wanted to ask Mike. He was going to get insulted, I'm sure, over the question, but maybe try to get this run game going a little bit against New York.
I don't hate the idea of trying to get the run game right. Now, what I will hate is if they
just want to do it if they're up 13-0.
No, like I think you are so much better than this team, you'll be able to have success doing it. If you go out there the first 3 drives and you're like 3 and out and punting 3 times, it's like, all right, well, let's stop screwing around now. You need to start throwing the ball.
Right.
So if you want to try and establish it early, I don't have a problem because I don't think you're digging yourself a hole that you can't get out of against the Giants.
The problem is giving them like a little bit of hope if it's 3 straight drives and.
A little bit, yeah, but I mean, this is also like this is AT&T, and they've shown like when they want to crank it up and get into a track meet, they will score, and so I think they do have the ability to tap into that if they want to do it.
I think we have our first ever Firehouse Tour dog that's been brought out here. Look at that dog. What type of dog is that? A poodle?
Some kind of a poodle.
I can't pronounce the first
Habanero.
part. Look at
It's
that.
not habanero.
Look at that
poop
cute.
in the house. Mine poops in the house.
Look at that cute thing. Yeah, he needs a. He needs training advice
Absolutely.
over here. 37-6.
There's a dog.
Cowboys.
37-6 Cowboys. Bobby didn't give a score. Is that?
I don't think the Giants score. So I'm going to say it just depends on how much Dallas really wants to put their foot on the gas, but I'll say 28-0 Dallas.
Okay. I'm going to say 49-2. The Cowboys will take a purposeful safety in this game. Maybe they run out of bounds.
Just to get the scoregami.
What did I say? 49. It's 49-2. That's the score of this game.
Okay, the level of upset from the Arizona game on a scale of 1 to 10 was what? Was that an 8 or a 9?
That was high. It was Nick.
Try to
Eben was
remember
on
beforehand.
Right, Nick Eben was on to something. Weird things do happen there. So from that standpoint, it was not that stunning because of that. Cowboys, it's a house of horrors for them. It's at least a 7.5, 8.
But yeah, we got it. It's an 8 because we got to remember not just the discussion about Arizona heading into that game. We got to remember the discussion about Dallas heading into that game, where it's like this is the Ravens defense in 2000. Like Arizona may not score on them. Dallas has figured out their offense. They're finding their rhythm. They're super efficient, and then they just got punched in the mouth.
So
they didn't
that was
show
an
up.
8 out of 10 bad.
Yeah.
If something disastrous happens Sunday, this would be a what?
This
9.5.
9.5? How
Yeah.
could it not be a 10?
Because like I think it's like the
NFL teams that NFC East.
No.
This is the toughest.
No. It's the Portnoy. Like a 10, like about the 10 rating. It's like a 10 has to be the absolute impossible. The 10 has to be the Washington Generals beating the Globetrotters, which I mean they're damn near the Washington Generals, the Giants. It's just the Cowboys aren't the Globetrotters.
This is an absolute 10. This is not only a 10 loss. I would think honestly Mike has a better chance of getting fired if they lose this game than if they lose in the NFC Championship game to San Francisco.
That's interesting.
This is what I'm saying. I think this is how much better I think Dallas is than the Giants, and it's not some big praise to Dallas. It's how bad the Giants are right now. If you made the Cowboys play with all of their reserve offensive linemen, I think they still win by 2 touchdowns.
Okay, well then that's a
10.
It's a 9. That's why I went 9.5. Like it's
9.5.
it's not Jets over the Colts in the Super Bowl. So.
It's a 10. It's not Jets over Colts.
It's not that where it's a 20-point favorite and everybody's like, this league doesn't even. It's like playing college football against an NFL team back in Super Bowl.
This
3.
would be way bigger than that. This upset.
What? This would be bigger than the Jets, which were like 20-point underdogs in the Super Bowl?
Bobby, the Jets had a Hall of Famer at quarterback. They have Tommy DeVito.
17-point spread, too.
Bobby, it's not even close. The only reason why the Jets were not thought of highly is because nobody gave any respect to the AFL.
And at least the other team got to the Super Bowl.
I know I sound like a broken record because I feel like I say this every week. But, Choppy, this is the worst take you've ever
made. Bobby, you really think the Jets over the Colts in the Super Bowl would be a bigger upset than if the Giants beat the Cowboys? Am I just missing what you're saying?
What I'm saying is back then, again, when we talk about what was the thought process heading into Arizona and the belief, the AFL versus NFL at that time was thought of as like you're putting the XFL against an NFL team. Like, yeah, it's some players who maybe could play in the league, but they're nowhere near.
That's the fault of people back then.
Okay, but we're
this
talking
guy
about
was the number 1 pick in the draft that they were playing against.
We're talking about what the upset. They were a 20-point favorite without Johnny Unitas playing in that game.
All right, so we have 2 things now on the truckwreck.com text line.
That's because Johnny U was already at the end of his career. They started. Was it Earl
Morrall?
I need the closest score prediction for Cowboys Giants, number 1, and then who's right in this argument between Bobby and Choppy.
I mean, Namath won a title in college.
Okay.
It's not like...
Okay, and in retrospect, we can look at it that way, but when we're talking about an upset, this would not be anywhere close. Anywhere close.
Robert!
My God, RJ. No.
877-881-1053, truckwreck.com text line. What about the scores?
We've got 45-10 Cowboys from the 570, 55-7 from the 806, 38-3 from the 254, 37-3 Cowboys from Leroy and Grand Prairie. 817 says 41-10. The closest score I can find here is 214 says 34-17 Cowboys.
Dang.
So a 17-point victory, just covering the spread.
Tolo Chris just rolled up. Diehard Ranger fan. He's the one who texted this morning. He goes, McCarthy a little surly? McCarthy getting a little surly? Yeah, I made up my mind. 8:40, you'll hear it with Coach. And
it's just like anything.
We had some sparks in the very beginning, but I made up my mind. Man, if Coach Surly again, no. I'm not having it. I got to add him to my list. Got to add him to my Jericho list. for the month.
We were talking about this during one of the breaks on Tuesday, like leading into Jerry. We were looking at.
I love Choppy's going.
By the way,
Choppy's going Super Bowl
18
3
was the point spread.
Okay,
Super
with
Bowl
a backup
3
quarterback.
Deep dive.
It wasn't a backup quarterback. He was the starter. They had
No,
benched
Johnny
Namath.
Unitas was hurt.
They had benched him because he wasn't playing well.
Okay. Anyway,
You were there, huh?
we
Were
talked.
you there?
We
Were you
we
there?
talked.